Hi, welcome to Misfortune's Corner. It's Taylor, Jaren, and Steve. And with us today we have Jaren's dad, Shane. We're going to be test playing a product that was sent to us by a place2play.toys. They sent us a battle grid system. We've got a couple of pieces here to showcase for you. We've got these hex grids that come in a couple of different sizes. We've got a large piece, medium pieces, and then singles. And it might be a little hard to see on the recording here, but each piece has little teeth here on the edge that can be used to interlock the pieces and create larger pieces of terrain. We're going to be playing a one-shot here, just a little mini adventure to showcase this product, and afterwards we'll talk a little bit about our impressions on it and how we believe that this could or maybe could not be used for D&D, which is the reason we were sent this to showcase. So hope you enjoy, and let's see where this goes. All right, real quick, just for our listeners, if everyone would like to give us what they're playing. Steve?
I am playing Jarek Heavy Hands, Goliath Vengeance Paladin.
Gonna catch these hands. I'm playing a warlock, human warlock, named Kylar.
Alright, so we've got Kylar.
Which pack did you take?
I went pact of, is it the old one?
Ancient old one?
The ancient old one.
Kylar, Jarek, and then Shane.
I'm playing Shadowspawn, a halfling rogue.
Alright. So we've got Shadowspawn, Jarek, and
Kylar.
Alright. So, your party has been traveling the mountains, along the mountain path, and you're heading to a city called Daggerford on the other side of the hill pass. But you know that you have to traverse through a military encampment that blocks the pass. And you reach the encampment at dawn, and the gate guards stop you at about 20 feet out from the gate and ask for your purpose in the region.
They ask for purpose in this region. We're just trying to get through, right? Yep.
Just adventuring.
Well, all travelers must have permission of pass from the Duke to pass through this encampment. If you desire, we can set you up a meeting with the Duke of the Keep.
I guess if we have to have permission from him.
Sounds reasonable.
Very well. Please wait here. They go off, and you're probably waiting about an hour before they come back, and they don't look too enthused about it, but they let you in and give you direction to the Duke. As you are passing through the gate, one of the guards kind of whispers to you, "Good luck."
I'll take that as a wonderful sign.
They gave you directions to the Duke's quarters.
Why would we need luck to talk with him?
He's a bit of a character.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Okay. So I guess we had to talk to him.
All right. As you're meandering through camp, it's pretty standard for a military installation. There's a lot of kind of ramshackle buildings, mostly tents that you can assume to be the lodgings of most of the soldiers. There's a few more sturdy buildings around the outer edge of the encampment, but for the most part it's just tents and poorly constructed buildings. Until you get to the far edge, backed up against the cliffside, is a abnormally well-built building for a military camp. It has a hanging sign out front of it that informs you that this is the Duke's palace. And it actually says the Duke's palace, but it is far from a palace.
Any
I'm already
guards?
paying attention to where guards are at, where doors, passages, hallways, so on
Alright.
and so forth.
Anything particular you're looking for on that front, or
Just
just minding where everything's at?
Minding for future reference.
Are there guards guarding the entryway
There
to
are.
the mansion
There
palace thing?
are 2 guards posted out front, and through the windows on to either side of the door, you can see another 2 posted inside.
So,
Humans, half orcs.
Humans, human encampment.
Armored? What kind of armor do they have? Weapons?
The guards at the palace are more thoroughly outfitted than what you've seen in the rest of the camp. The rest of the camp is very very militaristic, whereas this is more of like a showy, dressed up guard kind of thing.
I'll approach and tell them our business of a meeting with the Duke.
All right, the guards on the outer guards opened the doors for you. They were informed that you were making your way through the camp, and they lead you down a corridor. Now, despite it being early morning, there's very little light in this building. It was, with the exception of the windows on the front, there aren't really windows in here, and so it's kind of dark, torchlight, a few lanterns, but it's kind of dark and it's warm. It's a lot warmer than it was outside. And you're led down this passageway to a chamber at the back of the house, and opening the door, the guard ushers you in. You are met with a wave of really stifling, stuffy air. You are standing at the end of a long table with a fireplace at the opposite end, a chair sitting in front of it with a very large, clearly self-important man sitting in a chair eating a very large breakfast.
Large to me or just fat?
He's fat. Fat large, not
Okay.
not
Goliath large.
he's not stature large, he's just
He's a fat
He's
ass.
a fatty.
He's vertically challenged for his weight.
He's horizontally blessed.
All right, and the table is yours.
How's it going?
What business do you have here?
We were told we needed to seek your permission to pass through.
Indeed, this is my camp. I am put in charge of it.
And so we come before you asking your permission.
What have you to offer? We, of course, charge toll.
And how much is that?
How much do you have?
Can offer you 1 gold piece.
He laughs, and I can only describe this as absolutely disgusting because,
Kind of like was it Jar Jar Binks is king?
yes, like he's laughing and like there's more movement than there should be.
Yeah, if you could not do that again.
I don't know what you mean.
That was awful.
His eyes narrow, and he's very clearly upset by your insinuation.
We don't have a lot.
You can let us through or we can kill you. How's that?
I like what he's saying.
I guess we can go there then immediately.
How about a compromise? He doesn't necessarily seem threatened by the statement, but he definitely would like to avoid the chance. Because adventurers are known to be spectacular individuals.
And my large friend here, he's quite proficient at what he does.
He glances at you and glances kind of back and forth, pondering for a minute. Make a
Intimidation check?
your choice of intimidation or diplomacy.
Persuasion.
Persuasion, sorry.
Or deception. Deception.
If you're lying, go for it.
I don't know if I'm lying or not.
Whichever one you have expertise in.
Am I lying? Are you actually good at what you do?
Well,
Some things.
I'm good at killing things.
I'm good at deceiving people.
I am chaotic good, so
I think I kind of give. I don't remember.
I never picked a lineman on this thing. You never asked me for that.
Oh, I think we actually skipped
I
over.
think that's in the details page.
yeah.
You're probably chaotic neutral, I'm assuming, with the way you're talking.
I'll be whatever I want to be.
I don't put labels on me.
Sounds like chaotic neutral to me.
Yeah.
Don't you label me.
What are we rolling on? What are we rolling for?
Your choice of
I don't even
persuasion or intimidation.
know. Oh, I have persuasion. Oh, that sucked. That's a total of 7.
All right, he's not feeling very
Persuaded.
very persuaded, but he kind of leans forward and he still has like a leg of mutton in his hand, and he kind of puts his hands together as best he can while still holding his meal, and he's kind of gnawing on it, thinking for a moment before he says, I believe we can come to a compromise. It just so happens that I have a captain here in the guard that could use some particular skills that you might possess.
Doing what?
It appears something was stolen from him,
It
and
wasn't me, I wasn't here. Oh, never mind.
very okay. I personally don't know how to respond to that.
It's because he's got a lot of guilt on his conscience at night scene.
He has a guilty conscience, so he just says
He's like, it wasn't me, I
it
promise.
wasn't me.
I didn't do it.
Filters.
You gotta stop saying that.
Filters.
Something was stolen from him recently, and we personally cannot expend the manpower to retrieve it.
I've seen a minimum of 20 soldiers walking through here, and you say you can't expend the manpower.
It's not
Talent level.
Yeah, well,
He again seems offended and very eager for you to leave his presence. um, it's not the type of journey that we would send soldiers on because it's not worth the effort. It was a personal item that was stolen, and so we're not going to
somebody
expend
steal a prize
military.
bottle of wine or a roll of cheese, like.
I will let him explain it, and if you don't want to take the job, come back.
Alright, let's go talk to the captain.
All right, let's go find the captain. Maybe he won't be so
Hey.
horizontally blessed, as I like to say.
Get out.
With pleasure.
He returns to his meal as you are escorted by a set of guards, one of whom is snickering slightly as soon as his back is turned to the Duke. You're escorted out of the camp, and one of the guards grabs an errand boy from the nearby building and has him escort you to Captain Donhammer. Captain Donhammer's tent is found about halfway through the camp. He is nearby the main barracks sectioning, and the errand boy leaves you before you knock on the tent post, whereupon you hear, "Enter."
If I must. All right, go in.
Okay, you are being forced to kind of
Crouch a little bit.
crouch a little bit in here. It's not Goliath-sized
My-
tent,
7'8" frame.
but inside is a very militaristically minded layout. It's not it's not a small tent, with the exception of height, but it's very obviously a captain's quarters. Sorry, we're gonna hold on for a minute. Okay.
I'm trying to be quiet with it, and it's not working.
All right. But it's a decently sized tent, about maybe 10 feet by 10 feet, but very militaristic. There's a cot, there's a couple of chests, but very little decoration, very neatly and cleanly organized. And on the cot sits a man in a captain's garb, and he is bald, shiny bald, and he has a very well manicured mustache. How might I help you?
Apparently, we're supposed to talk to you about a stolen wheel of cheese or something of that nature.
Oh, yes. I'm glad they're finally getting somebody on this. I was out on patrol the other day, and a nearby band of goblins attacked our patrol, and no one was injured or killed, but they stole some of our belongings. And they stole my prized hairbrush.
A freaking hairbrush, you're kidding me.
No, I'm not.
They want us to go get, you want us to go get a damn hairbrush.
Indeed.
Can we just kill him yet? Like, this is...
We might as well go get the, was it head wax you said?
Hairbrush.
Hairbrush. Let's just get this over with, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. We could go for killing some goblins anyway.
Grand. And he reaches into his satchel and pulls out a scroll and hands it to you. That is A detailed map of the area. He points at a particular point on the map. That is where we believe the camp to be.
Okay. Let's just go burn it to the ground.
Do as you will. I just want my hairbrush back. It's a family heirloom.
All right.
I don't know if you noticed, you and I kind of match. There's
He's kind of looking up at you. How so?
you've got no hair. Why do you need a hairbrush?
It feels nice against my scalp.
It's a family heirloom too. Come on, man. Just get the man his hairbrush and
You have yours, I have mine.
we can get through the pass. That's all we need to do, right?
Yeah, I guess.
All right. So we follow the map. We'll head to the area.
All right. So you follow the map, and it's about a half day's ride, but they supply you with the horses and the means to get there. And
I have a camel, okay?
you have a camel?
Yes, I ride a camel.
Okay. Okay.
Freaking weirdo.
Oh, right. Paladins get a mount, don't
Mm-hmm.
Why choose a camel? What?
Because it's a one-time use character, and I was like, why the hell not?
So he's riding.
they? All right.
Awesome.
Welcome back, Shane. Just to catch you up, we are retrieving the captain of the guard's hairbrush.
Family heirloom, but he's bald. He's bald though.
From a goblin raiding camp.
Is there a reward?
To get through the pass.
You're allowed passage.
Okay, we'll work on this.
Okay. You arrive at the indicated spot and you dismount at the bottom of a ridge. You can hear muted sounds of some form of civilization on the other side of the ridge.
So let's sneak up, shimmy up along the ridge
I'll
so we
let
can get to
you
the top.
guys do the sneaking.
Okay.
When it's time to smash things, let me know and I'll come
I'm
join
good
you.
at sneaking.
All right, go scout it out up on the ridge.
All right. Stealth checks for me, whoever's going on
I'll
that.
go with him. Four.
Why don't you stay here? I'll go check it out.
You make it up the hill pretty good. He kind of trips over a branch or something at the start, and he doesn't make it too far. But you sneak up the ridge, and what you see below you is what we have laid out here. At the center of the camp, you see this little scenario. There's a clearing at the center with a few small hills at the edge, but it's just a small portion of the camp is that little clearing in the middle. The camp itself is actually pretty dang large for goblins. Like, this isn't a raiding camp. This is a full-blown goblin war camp.
Oh jeez.
Your trained eye would venture to say that this camp contains roughly 200 to 300 goblinoids,
Oh, sweet.
including hobgoblins, goblins, and wargs.
I have no where's my fireball? Why didn't I play a wizard?
Care to make a perception check for me? Thank you.
14.
14, okay. To the right of the ridge that you're on, you can see a small trail.
Which ridge am I on? Where are we at on?
You guys would be like in
Oh,
this
we're off
direction,
the grid,
respectively.
So
yeah.
this is the goblin camp down here.
No, so that'll be the center of the camp.
Okay.
So when we start using figures, that'll be where you guys are. But
Okay.
this is what we have here on the table probably only makes up like 1/10 the size of the camp. If each of these represent a 5-foot square. All right. So yeah, you're up on a ridge here. To the right of the ridge you're on, you can see a small string of goblins and hobgoblins returning from a hunt. They're carrying the proofs of their kills and going up to a gate in the camp and presenting their kills before entering the camp. And you can see a few such gates around the perimeter of the camp.
Are there any solo guards, or what's the guard situation outside? Like picket guards or stuff like that? Individuals?
Loose guards, like they more or less have them at the entrances, but there aren't like palisades or anything on the tops of the walls. So it's kind of your classic, like what you would envision to be a goblin camp situation, where they have like trees that they've cut down and sharpened at the tops and put those in as posts around the wall, or to make up the wall, and then you have breaks where the gate is.
So there's not an actual gate, it's just
It's more like
a hole in the wall.
it's like a hole in the wall with like a line of strung together trees that they can pull across for to close it.
Mm.
At the center of camp, you do see the highest concentration of the goblinoids. They appear to be spectating something.
Oh, I guess he's the one up on the ridge, so we can't see anything.
We'll get $22 back.
2,200 for attack.
All right. Well, I'm going to study some of the goblins as I can see them, to try to get a feel like their movement, their actions, the way they walk, the way they interact with things, with others.
All right.
I was like, I need a solo guy. I need a lone goblin or something.
You've got just from your observations, you kind of pick up how goblin camp society works. You've got the hobgoblins that are obviously the bigger and stronger, and then the goblins, the smaller and weaker, and they kind of rely on the strongest are superior mentality. So goblins tend to get pushed around by the hobgoblins quite a bit, but it's a very much if you're bigger and stronger, you're better. As far as like lone goblins, there are like a few outside the walls that are like scrounging around or just like minding their own business, but you don't really have any single-manned posts at the walls.
We can definitely change the guard scenario up pretty quick.
I mean, you could just go, come get me, draw
That's
a few
exactly
in.
what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Try and lure them, a few over, a little small party of them.
And then you guys hit them from the sides and it's game over for them.
I'm going to use my disguise kit and try to disguise myself as a goblin.
All right.
As a halfling, yeah, that would actually
What?
work.
What is? There's not a disguise check.
Could
For
it'd probably be
Is
It'd be
it?
deception.
probably
Deception.
deception, and then
You would
He'd also roll a d20 with proficiency bonus because he'd be proficient with disguise kit as a rogue
Mhm.
for the kit usage.
So make a deception check for me. Is that a 19?
25.
Okay, you pull off a pretty good goblin. Like, you even have a little like putty that you carry around with you that you use to make a false nose, and
No, that's his real nose.
you're doing pretty good.
You ugly.
And Jarek, Goliath, what setting was Jarek raised in? Goliaths are generally mountain folk, but what?
Mm-hmm. I would assume I would say he grew up in the mountains.
All right, so you probably have had your fair run-in and experience with goblins on your own.
Mm-hmm.
Make a let's make a
Perception?
no, it's your choice of nature or history.
Those are gonna suck. Intelligence, where's my history? Yeah, they're both negative. 14.
Okay. You recall from some of your ventures in the mountains that goblins tend to have fighting tournament-esque establishments in every camp. That they like to show off their strength, particularly hobgoblins like to show off their strength. And if you can get to the ring, you can make a case to challenge them, and there's usually prizes for the victors. Which I'm assuming you came down the hill and like explained what all you saw.
Yeah.
Which you can.
Coming down as a goblin, no. Not me.
I see a goblin coming down the hill. I've got my glaive ready.
All right. You gonna announce yourself, or are you just gonna go with this?
What time of the day is it?
It's about midday.
Midday. Like, put that away, I'm gonna stick it somewhere the sun don't shine.
Oh, it's you.
So I guess after he gives you the details of what he saw, you can identify this clearing in the middle as the designated combat arena.
How many, like, if I were to charge through one of the gates on my camel and down to the center, how much opposition would I meet along the way?
You'd meet a fair amount of opposition.
How many goblins' heads would be taken along the way, is what I'm saying. I guess.
You could probably kill a decent number of them on your way in. I'm not sure about hobgoblins necessarily, but like you could definitely get a lot of goblins
How
done.
about you're my prisoner and I bring you in?
We're both your prisoners?
Yeah.
You're a warlock. Do you have seeming or any illusion spells that you can?
No,
No.
of course not. No. He could use a disguise kit. But I mean, we're too big.
I poisoned you, made you fall asleep,
Yeah,
and I captured you.
sure. You can lie your way through that. I hope.
It'll get us to the gate.
Yeah, I'll get us to the gate. Yeah, let's do that. Let's tie up our wrists and do like the
Pretend to tie.
the fake knots around the legs too, so we can barely walk. But it
Mhm.
looks like we're all shackled up.
That works, I guess.
I'm sure you, being a mighty paladin, you are like this deception, but
Mm.
I'm gonna tie his knots for real.
Make him trip.
Well, then I guess you're not getting blessed.
All right, let's roll with that plan. Let's go.
All right. I don't think there's a check for rope here, so you tie them up loosely enough, but begin leading them to the gate. As you get to the gate, you've got a hobgoblin and 2 goblins checking the kills of the
Hunting
parties. As you approach, they kind of look up at you, and they seem really interested, particularly in Jarek. Goliaths they're not super common, but a couple of them have heard or maybe even seen one before, and like Goliaths are big, Goliaths are strong, like they're interesting. What race are you, Jim? Human. Okay, they treat you about as much as they treat humans.
Yeah. I'm like I'm 20 years old. I got white hair and 1 purple eye.
Scrawny or like average?
Kind of like a haunted look.
All right.
I have the haunted one background. So
Okay, so they kind of
like those
see.
dark circles, kind of gaunt.
So they're kind of viewing you as almost like sickly fish bum.
Yeah,
Kind
like
of a
they'll be
guy.
kind of like a little wary of me. I guess.
Like we're not gonna cook him up and eat him. He might be diseased.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, and they take note of you, and they're kind of like
Dragging the rope. Come on,
really
scum.
shocked.
Come on.
They're like shocked. They're like, how did you get a Goliath?
I can't tell you.
Oh, why not? It's gotta be a good story.
Trade secret. I'll tell you around the fire tonight. How's that?
Oh, we look forward to it. Come in.
Let's go through the gate.
All
At
right.
this point, my character is going to start making a scene, like pulling back on the ropes
Oh,
a little
okay.
bit.
I'm just kind of.
Goblin scum.
I'm just kind of.
You're getting a lot of jeers and like laughs.
I'm gonna
They
pull out my whip and give a little flip on the. Come on.
make
Don't go
a
too hard, buddy.
make
You
a
like it rough.
make a performance check for me.
I'm just kind of not even here to see. I'm dead to the world. I'm dead inside.
18.
All right, you're making a show out of it, and they are loving it. Like you, especially the goblins. The goblins are loving this.
Because one of their kind.
Well, because a goblin, not a hobgoblin, a goblin bested a Goliath. They are loving it. You get stopped by a hobgoblin about 30 feet in, and he's like, "Where are you taking these?"
To the battle arena.
He kind of sizes up the Goliath, and he's shorter than you. Not by much, but he's shorter, and he kind of like looks up at you and sizes you up, and he's like, "Maybe I'll have to get in the ring."
Come play with me, Pipsqueak.
He headbutts you. If you want to try and avoid it, make a dex.
I'm gonna let him try and
saving
headbutt me because when he goes to headbutt me, he's gonna hit my plate armor.
Like, don't damage my merchandise.
Yeah, he did not break your AC there.
Just kind of dings.
He dings his head on it, and he pulls off like that it didn't hurt, but you can tell like
How did that feel?
you can tell
Dummy.
he didn't really like it. He kind of turns and marches off.
I'll be looking for you, Cupcake.
What language is this hobgoblin speaking? Common?
He is speaking a rough common.
Rough common.
All right. You lead them through, and people are parting for you to come through. Like, they can see what your intent here is. And you reach the edge of the clearing.
No.
At the edge of the clearing here, we've got
We have the right to challenge at this point.
goblins and hobgoblins just crowded around this center area here. And kind of off to the side here between the hills is a small pile, well, relatively small, but a pile of loot. There's all sorts of things. There's weapons,
Is there a
there's
hairbrush?
gold. You cannot see it. Make a perception check if you want to try and spot that from across the
I don't know about that.
Okay, you did not spot a hairbrush in the pile, but it all looks like that kind of stuff. It all looks like fancy stolen riches, random crap that they've stolen and that they've put on here to be the prize. You win, you get something. You get to pick a prize.
I win, I get to pick a prize. Okay, goblin heads. All of them.
In the arena, and we're gonna define the arena as starting here and ending here. So this kind of circle here is the arena. In the arena is a very, very large hobgoblin who has a large but smaller hobgoblin hoisted above his head, whom he throws out of the arena before giving a bellow of victory. Goes over to the pile, picks up a halberd, thrusts it above his head, roaring in victory again, before planting it off to the side of the arena alongside a series of additional weapons that are planted in the ground. Today's winnings. A goblin steps into the ring, turns to the crowd, and he's kind of wearing nice-ish robes for a goblin, and says, "Ladies and gentlemen, our champion wins yet again! Who dares step into the arena?"
I bust the ropes.
Wait.
He's kind of like carrying, very like almost circusy. He's kind of got like his like ringmaster cane kind of thing, and he points at you as you raise your hand. "Little fellow, good on you. Lots of spirit."
I have a participant for you.
He kind of like looks up. He didn't even see the Goliath behind
I'm
you.
gonna break the ropes.
A Goliath, a treat! What a treat! We've got some fun today, folks! Step out into the ring!
And I grab my glaive from him.
No weapons.
All right.
This is a brawl. However, if you prove victorious, we can set up an official team battle, if you wish. I see you have a companion.
Very well. I actually have two companions. I'll be bringing this little fellow in the ring with us. A goblin.
Make a deception check for me, or performance to seem surprised.
I want to do deception. It's a 21.
All right, you pull off a surprised look.
Three's better than two.
All right, if you prove victorious against our champion, we'll allow you to do a team battle.
All right.
What is your name?
You can call me the winner.
There's a series of boos from around the crowd, but the commentator kind of like chuckles. He seems abnormally intelligent for a goblin, so he gets a kick out of it. But he's like, Oh, very well. We'll see what becomes of it. Step into the ring.
Gladly.
In the ring, across from you is this hobgoblin with tattoos kind of all over his upper body, and pointing his stick at him, the commentator says, "Our champion Reginald will take on
Jarek.
Jarek. Let's see how this goes. Take your positions."
I guess I'd be on this side of the arena.
Yeah.
All right.
So are we doing each of these as 10 then?
Yeah, let's do each of those as 10.
Okay.
We are going to, let's say that for the rules of this combat, we've got, you win by either KOing or knocking your opponent out of the ring.
Okay.
The commentator continues to explain that the rules of this combat are a show of physical might only, no magic allowed.
What if they don't know it's magic? Smite?
Then you get away
That's an
with it.
ability.
It's an ability.
Then you get away with it as long as they don't know you're using. And the commentator's not explaining this. This is just me. As long as they don't figure out you're using magic, you can get away with it. But this is a contest of strength. Roll initiative. Oh gosh, freaking.
That's 17.
You're going first.
Okay. My move is 30. So, of course, 10, 20, 30. I will charge him.
All right.
And I will. I'm going to take my 2 attacks on him. And let's see what happens. That's 23 to hit.
Hit.
So that's just 4 damage because it's unarmed.
All right.
And that's a 24 to hit.
Hit.
So let's see. I'm gonna smite him. Takes an extra 4 damage.
All right. So total on the second attack.
8.
All right. His turn. He attacks you once. 19 on the die. Does that break
Yeah,
or do I need
that
to add
hits.
anything? All right. All right. Sorry, remind me what unarmed is.
It's
It's 1 plus your strength, right?
1 plus your strength, yeah.
Right, okay. He deals you 5 damage.
Tougher than you.
Attacks again. Misses. And then he action surges.
That's alright.
If,
I still have 3 more smites.
Mm-hmm.
if I could find the action surge. There we go. Action surges. Hits you again. Does a
I deal literally 0 damage.
17 hit.
Minus
Nope.
1 strength modifier.
Alright. Hits you again. 24.
Right.
Another 5 damage.
Barely hit you. Barely.
All right, your turn.
Okay. I kind of chuckle for that from the hits. And I'll just take my 2 hits on him. It's a 16.
Miss.
Okay. And that's even lower.
All right. He grabs you. And that misses. So
He went for a grapple.
he went for a grapple.
Okay.
Your turn.
All right. Let's punch him right in his big dumb face. That's a 23.
Hit.
I'm gonna pump my divine smite into it. And I'm gonna burn 2 spell slots to roll 3d8 or 4d8. So that's 11, that's 15, and 8, that's 23 points of damage.
Dang. Heavy hitter. 20,
28?
23.
23.
And that's just the first attack.
A
Jonah.
21 to hit.
Hit.
Okay. So he just takes the what is it? 4 points or 5 points? 4 points of damage.
All right. Okay, he's looking staggered and shocked. Like, this guy comes into my house and just starts beating on me. Like, holy crap.
You're little.
He gets a determined look in his eye and takes a breath.
Second wind.
Uh-huh.
They didn't have the laundry. Hunter, come on.
All right, there we go. And swings at you.
Swinger.
18 on the die.
Meets.
All right, +7, so hits. 5 damage. Swings again, misses.
Okay. We're right at the edge of the arena.
Mm-hmm.
How much damage was that again? Sorry.
5.
I would like to try a push.
All right. Shove, I believe.
Yeah. To push him out of the arena because we're already on his end of the arena.
Okay. Make a athletics check or a acrobatics check, your choice.
I'm gonna go athletics. 17.
Oh wait, sorry, hold on. No, you make an athletics and he gets to choose which he.
Yeah, so 17.
All right.
Roll up.
He got a 21.
Okay.
So you push and he braces himself and does
doesn't
not
move.
budge.
Okay.
He shoves you back.
Okay. That's fine.
Oh gosh, freaking.
So I roll.
15. So you roll your choice of
It's gonna be
athletics or.
athletics. No, he moves me.
All right. How far
10,
back does that go?
10 feet, I think.
5 feet.
5 feet. So I'm halfway on that.
All right. Your turn.
Okay. They don't have Bull Rush in this in 5th edition.
No.
Okay, I'm just gonna come back in and start swinging again.
All right. Before you roll that, Jaren and Shane, you guys are going to get some actions coming up if you want to take any actions.
Okay.
So,
Natural 19, so that's 25, and then a 9, so that won't hit the first one. You know what? Let's pump my last smite into it. That makes it 12 points of damage.
all right. No, he's not healing 12 points. All right. He's going to take his turn and then it'll be Shane and Jaren.
Okay.
Okay, he is going. He's going to attempt to grapple you again.
Okay.
Gosh. 9.
Yeah, it doesn't even come close to hitting.
Well,
It's a contested check.
it's a contested.
Natural 19, so
Okay, he does not succeed in grappling you. All right, your turn. Or sorry,
yeah.
Shane.
I'm gonna kind of just meander my way over towards the pile of stuff.
All right, make a stealth check for me. And based on where you are, I'm gonna say that's gonna take 2 rounds worth of that. So do this, we'll do Jaren, and then we'll come back
Okay.
to you.
24.
All right, you start edging your way over there
Which way?
I just like to blend in with the rest of the,
towards you.
just blending in with the rest of the
How
golems.
far?
Kind of.
That about
Okay.
right there. All right. You have anything?
Nope. Keep standing there.
All right.
Veins, no.
Make a second stealth check for me.
14. That's quite sneaky the second time.
It's pretty high.
All right.
Pretty nice still.
You kind of bump into a few people, and they kind of are like looking at you, like, "What are you doing?" But like they don't call you out on anything.
Pickpockets as you
Pickpocket.
bump into them.
The box I bumped into him.
All right. What's
Little
the
sleight of hands.
what's the sleight of hand?
Ooh, I'll take a 22.
All right, you pull a couple of coin pouches off their belts.
Best part of rogues.
All right,
up.
Free money.
Jarek.
Back to me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm just gonna hit him because that's what I do. I hit things. Oh, that's a D12. Okay.
I mean, if you want to roll that,
Crit.
nat 20.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So he takes 8 points of damage.
Okay, you punch him for 8.
I wish I had smite now.
Randomly crit.
Second attack.
Come on, crit. It's a 20.
Hit.
Okay, so he takes 4 points.
All right. He is going to attempt to grapple you again.
Okay.
10.
You could roll low. Ah, I got a 19.
Okay, he fails again. You kind of shove off his attempt. Your turn.
Let's you know what? Let's go for this grapple. Let's see what No, he's stronger than I am. I don't want to do that. I just want to keep punching him.
He's also rolling bad.
Yeah. I'm gonna punch him again. I'm just gonna knock him out cold. That doesn't hit. And that doesn't hit. That was a natural 5 and a natural 6.
All right. He attempts to grapple you again.
Hey,
He's realizing he's not going to win
the punching fight.
the punching fight, so he's going to throw you.
25.
Yeah, he got a 14. You shove him off again.
Come on, Cupcake.
He's getting like riled up.
Yeah. Let's just go for the punches. 23.
Hit.
So that's 4 points. And 18. Or no, 20. Sorry.
Hit.
That's another 4 points.
All right.
I like these dice, Sharon.
He's looking haggard.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
But he's gonna try and grab you. He's realizing this is his only shot at winning.
He's gonna taste in your ear.
Ooh,
16.
he got me.
Okay, he's got a hold of you. Your turn. You may
Can I knee him in the nuts?
you may use your action to escape. To do so, you must succeed on an athletics, strength check, or an acrobatics dexterity, contested by his athletics check.
So I can't headbutt him or knee him because.
You're grappled. You
Okay,
have no
well.
leverage.
All right. Well, let's break out. No hell. It's a 9.
That is a 12.
Both are so low.
Missed
Yeah.
by that.
Okay,
All
you
right.
don't get out. He is going to attempt to. He's going to attempt to
Like shove.
shove you out of the arena.
Okay.
You have disadvantage on this check. He got a 25.
I have to hit a 19. So. Yeah, no. I want to try and like grab onto him
Okay, make a
to like keep like to kind of swing back with the momentum of the throw back into.
make an acrobatics check for me.
Okay. Acrobatics is +0. Yeah, no, my natural 2.
Okay, you fall on your face outside of the arena
Okay.
to the cheers and laughter of the audience. The commentator.
Where is the commentator?
Commentator, let's say he's that little goblin by the hobgoblin there.
Okay.
He hops up towards the front. Yeah, right there. Hops up and he's like, "Oh, better luck next time! You almost had him!" And you
That's
see that
where-
the hobgoblin that you were fighting is like, he's like...
Okay, that's where I
bruised.
cast Misty Step.
Okay.
I'm right here. And I grab the goblin, the commentator.
He squeaks and he's trying to like hit you with his.
Every time
stick,
he hits me,
but
I hit him.
he stops to hit Sid.
Yeah. We're here for a damn hairbrush.
What?
Some jerk off back in the camp wants his hairbrush back. I don't know why he has no hair. Give us the hairbrush or I'm breaking his neck.
Most of the goblins around the circle just kind of like look at each other and it's like they don't care. But he's like, we'll get you the hairbrush. We'll get you the. We'll get
I'll
it.
look over the
Yes.
pilot's treasure. That's what I'm doing.
He like points at you. Get them the hairbrush. He still has not realized that you're not a goblin. Get them the hairbrush.
Okay.
You sift through it and you find it. It's actually a really nice hairbrush. It's like got an ivory handle and like it's nice.
Well, I'm sifting. I'm also.
Pocketing what you can.
I can.
You're pocketing some of the smaller items.
Oh, it's
and-
coins or
all right.
dagger, whatever.
You make away with some pretty nice
Yeah,
stuff.
I rolled pretty well. I rolled a
Sleight of hand.
22.
Yeah, you make off with a pretty good little pile of stuff, and then when you finally get the hairbrush, you got it. All right. Can we put me back on the ground now?
You're our insurance policy. You can go back on the ground once we're safely outside of the camp.
Yeah, I'm not in charge here. I just run the ring.
I don't care. I'm gonna throw you in front of the first person that comes to swing at me.
All right. Okay, the goblins really don't care, so everybody roll for initiative.
Yeah. I'm literally gonna throw him at somebody.
Yes. Like, I'm not.
Because my glaive is over there by you guys. So I'm still
I'm,
unarmed.
quote, not engaging.
My initiative kind of sucks.
That's not mine.
I'm gonna need someone to throw me my glaive.
I got a whole pile of
All
halberds
right.
right here. Let's try
That'll
it.
work.
They're-
I just need a pile.
Right
They're
there.
probably going last, so
So I had a
I don't know about that.
Same.
9,
2.
like flat 2.
Yeah, I only have a +1 in initiative.
Okay, they're going before you then, because they got a 3.
Yep.
We're both 9. He's got a higher dex than I do.
All right, so you'll go, they go, and then Jaren will go.
Yep.
There's obviously more goblins there than that, so you don't need to specify which goblins you're attacking. Just know that there's generally goblins all around you, and as you guys move through the camp, I'll dictate where
You get advantage on
where
every
there's
single attack.
enemies.
You do for this first round because he's the first act as an assassin.
Yeah. Can read over. It's under your features and traits.
Yeah.
It'd be at your under assassin.
Assassin rogues are freaking dope.
Nope. Once per turn. Alrighty, well, so I'm right here, right?
Yep.
Actually, no, I went to the pile. So the
Oh,
pile was
Yeah, so the pile's kind of like right there.
right there.
Yep.
Ish. That's a hobgoblin. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Tired.
Okay, so I want to give away my advantage right now. It's like you add this in.
So the way that this advantage works out for you here is, as a rogue, right now you have advantage no matter what because they don't know that you're against them. So whatever you do.
No, I'm saying it's my advantages and. I'm a
Your
goblin.
advantage is
I'm a goblin still. I don't know I'm
right.
with this group.
And so as soon as you
As
distinguish
soon as I start
yourself,
attacking.
So it's
somebody,
almost like you find a goblin who's kind of off in the back and nobody's really looking at.
I start working my
And
way
you just
backwards.
like stab him in the back with a dagger.
Yeah, that's something I'm trying to find
If you want, if you're going for like that approach to like trying to take out somebody on the edge, the hobgoblin and the goblin behind him more or less mark like the edge of the crowd. So you could.
Okay, so if I can step like 5 feet back that way and get to his back, can I do that? Behind him?
Yeah.
And that's what I'll do. I'll give him a little sneak attack.
All right.
With that rapier.
Make your attack with advantage.
You get a roll.
18.
Well, you can roll twice on
Yeah, you get
advantage,
roll twice with
just in
advantage.
case you get a crit.
You take the
That's
higher
only
one.
three.
So
Take the
you
higher
take
of
the
the two.
18.
18. Okay, so that would be actions. My rapier, that would be
25.
a 25 to hit.
All right, that most definitely hits. What is your snake attack as a 5th level?
3d6. Yeah.
Nice.
I like that sneak attack crit. Doubles
Yeah,
on
if you
crits
go-
in 5th edition.
I think in 5th it's all rolled damage.
Yep.
Anything that's rolled crits.
Which includes energy damage, which is pretty sweet.
It's pretty nice that spells can crit.
Yeah.
I think that's true of 3-5 though too. If you have to roll to hit, it can multiply.
So that'd be 18 points to it.
All right. He dies.
What happened?
What happened?
What happened?
He fainted.
He's my shield.
All right. Do you have a second attack or just the one?
I don't know. Attacks per action 1.
Okay. All right. Steve.
I'm going to cast
If I have 2 weapon fighting, that
Bane.
Yeah, he's dead anyways.
Huh?
He's dead anyway.
So, up to 3 creatures that I can see within range must make Christmas saving throws. When they fail their save, if they make an attack or a saving throw, they roll a d4 and subtract a number from their saving throw.
All right.
So I'm going to target this guy, the Wolf, and I get 2 more, and these 2 goblins. Why not? Actually, how about these 2 closest to the Warlock?
All right.
So they roll Charisma saves. I don't think the DC is very low. No, it's 12.
Nat 20 on the wolf.
Okay.
Fail, and the hobgoblin fails.
Sweet. So they, on an attack and save moving forward for the next minute, they have to roll a d4 and take that, subtract it from the totals.
All right. Jaren.
Okay, I'll shoot at 2. I'll shoot 1 Eldritch Blast at 1 goblin, and then I'm gonna hit him
That guy.
with the other.
All right.
So on the 1 on the goblin, it'd be 23 to hit.
Hit.
Okay, 12 damage.
He dies.
Okay, 25 to hit on the big hobgoblin.
Hit.
14 damage.
He is still up.
Right, he's pushed back 10 feet as well.
More fat.
Alright.
That's my turn.
Okay. Oh, they were supposed to go before you, but I'm gonna just run.
Oh.
I'm gonna run them afterwards anyway. Okay. The goblin behind you comes and attacks you, Shane. He just actually no. I'm gonna have him make a perception to see if he saw you shank the guy.
I was sneaky.
He did not see you shank the guy, so he doesn't. He doesn't attack you. He runs up and like is helping you make sure that the guy's okay.
Jeez.
Trying to figure out how the guy got a
Poor little
stab
gobbler.
wound. The guy, the wolf charges you, Jaren.
The wolf.
He goes in for a bite. Does a 17 hit.
Roll a d4.
Right.
Oh,
No, he
he
saved.
That's right.
Of course that hits.
Which goblin did you drop,
Um,
Jordan?
I don't know. I didn't move one. I'll just say that one.
Hey, goblin.
He was banged, but whatever.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that one was
8
Yeah.
damage.
And the other.
8 damage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Alright. And you are considered grappled.
Of course. Can you cast spells while grappled?
I don't believe you can.
Dang.
I believe when you're grappled, your options are limited
Yeah.
to getting out.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Unless you have spells that can get you out.
Okay.
So my monk.
All right.
All right.
I'm grappled.
Top of the round, Shane.
Okay, I'm gonna talk to this goblin next to me.
Alright.
I don't like being here. Let's get out of this thing. I don't want to die. Let's go. Follow me.
Make a persuasion check.
17.
17.
Oh, that's 20. Total.
That is a -1. Okay, he like nods and starts following you in whatever direction you're
Okay.
going.
We're gonna kind of run through. We're gonna head towards whatever your name is.
Me.
Yeah.
So you're walking.
Yes.
Alright.
Jared?
Steve.
I'm gonna mana spells. Only down 15 points.
Holy, that'd be half.
The what?
That'd be half of me.
Yeah.
It's the life of a caster in a rogue when the fighter
Um,
says, I'm only down, and everyone else goes, what?
So I'm going to basically just try and break this goblin's neck.
Alright. Make just a strength.
No, natural one.
Alright, I'm gonna give him an opportunity to get away. Nope. Not one.
No.
Okay.
You go to break his neck and you like, I don't know how you managed to mess that up, but he tries squirming out and just manages to hop from one hand to the other.
Okay. Then I'm going to drag him with me.
Alright.
I get half movement, that's 10, so 15 is like the front half there.
Alright. Jaren.
I attempt to break out of the grapple with my -1 strength
Great score.
modifier. It's an 8. Nope.
Who's grappling the wolf?
Yep. You just rolled that 20. No.
Alright. The wolf is going to continue mauling you for another 7 damage. The goblin's
Me of all
gonna try and
people.
escape again. Nat 20, he's out.
It's a skill check,
Right,
so
sorry.
it's still
Yeah.
contested. 24.
What's his additive to the nope.
Aha!
You-
Stop squirming.
You win that.
Take
You guys
that.
with natural ones to natural 20s, you know, it's awesome.
Oh, I got an 18.
Yeah.
Okay. And they're not gonna attack you because they don't know that you're. Big guy's gonna run back in. Right there.
Right there?
All right, Shane.
All right, we're going to continue our escape route as we come up behind this wolf, and I'm going to backstab him. Sneak
Okay.
attack him.
That's advantage because of flanking.
Yes, it is.
So
that's a,
make sure you roll the die twice.
You get to roll twice.
Yeah. You take the higher.
that's even better. That'd be a 22.
Okay, you hit.
And that's kind of DS damage. So it's 9, 15, 17 plus 4, 21 damage.
The wolf yelps and is still up, but that was a pretty serious wound. The goblin you're with did see that, so he's kind of looking at you very confused.
Okay.
Steve.
I'm like, don't protect me.
Okay.
Don't protect me. Don't protect us.
Oh.
Let's go for another neck break here, just because. There we go, 23.
Yeah, you killed the commentator.
You're so violent.
Dead. Now I have my movement. No, so I'm gonna go there to get in flanking with that goblin.
All right.
Which one's following me?
Yeah.
Dude, he's my friend.
Actually, would my glaive be kind of right here-ish?
No,
It's
it
good.
would be in the area that you got brought in.
Actually,
This is exactly where I got brought in.
Yeah.
I had his glaive though. I didn't turn the weapon.
No, I grabbed it from you and they said no
Oh,
weapons.
that's right. That's
And
right.
he,
Oh,
So-
shit. Oh, yeah, it's right there.
So it's in
So
the
it's
ground
right
right
there.
here. Bonus action to grab it or? Okay. I'll have my glaive back.
all right. Jaren.
Attempt to break out. I rolled a 2, so a 1.
All right.
Well, okay then.
The wolf
Nat 20.
is going to attempt to flee, so it lets go of you and moves 2 squares towards the pile.
Do I get an attack as he goes by me?
Yes.
Yes.
He didn't move within 10 feet of me, did he?
No.
Nope.
Okay. Polar Master.
Well, he in that position where I still get my advantage bonus because he's still flanked.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So that'd be a 26 to hit.
Hit.
8, 16, 20 points of damage.
Okay, and he goes down. He attempts to flee, and as he turns to flee, you just kind of like stab him in the side of the neck, and he just flops down to the ground.
I turn to the goblin behind me and go,
Make an intimidate check for me. With advantage, you did just kill a warg in front of
that's a
him.
9.
Alright, so roll again. He said you get advantage, so.
You did just 2-shot a warg in
That's
front
a
of
20.
in front of him. Okay, like whatever that adds up to, he didn't beat it.
Wide-eyed.
So like he's like wide-eyed, and you kill it, turns, and he's just like he's in shock. He doesn't even respond.
I'm gonna leave you your little
I did
goblin
capture
friend.
Goliath in a,
Yeah. You...
I'm gonna take one of this goblin tribe.
Yeah.
Do the new leader.
All right,
Okay.
Shane, your turn,
Yeah.
because that was just an attack of opportunity.
Nice.
Well, We're on a roll here. Where do you want to go?
Are there more goblins?
Just
popping
those.
in?
We'll just finish off these
Okay.
4, and then if you manage to win this, we'll say that you get out of the camp.
Yeah. Okay.
You got advantage on your goblin friend.
He's my friend. I'm going to shoot this guy with my short bow.
All right.
No advantage there, huh?
No.
Oh, that's probably miss. That'd be a 12.
That misses. All right, Steve.
I'm going to use the reach of my glaive to swing at him twice while I'm outside of his reach. Because as far as I well, did he pick up a weapon? Okay, so he's still unarmed. 2 attacks.
If either of them hits you,
Crit.
okay. How do you want to finish
That's
this?
why I wanted to kill him so he didn't get the credit for
Yeah.
it.
I'm gonna take and just swing across with my glaive and take his head clean off.
All right. That is very achievable, seeing as he only had 1 hit point left.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
And then what do I have for bonus action?
Yeah, you almost got him.
I know. That was max damage on him too, I think.
What? Why didn't? Oh, damn it! I should have used my vow of enmity. Shows it him, I would have gotten advantage on attacks for against him for up to 1 minute.
There you go.
All
Hey,
right.
you know your character, Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah, way to know.
Be an example, Steve.
Let me come here. I've never played 5e before and all.
All
You know.
right.
Yeah,
Jared.
Alright, we'll shoot at 2 more
my
goblins.
first ever paladin.
My first character I ever played was a paladin. Ever
Does-
second edition.
A 18 hit.
Yep.
Alright, so both hit.
Yeah.
First one takes 11 points of damage, second one takes 14 points of damage.
Okay, they both go down. You've got 1 goblin left. And
Over there.
he
And then a flea.
he's gonna try and run.
I can snipe him.
You may do if you so please.
Yeah, he's got the range.
I can hit him with a bow.
Does
You can both
11 hit?
roll for it and see who gets it.
18. That's a 27
Does
or
it
25.
11?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so not, I have, does a 14 hit?
Yes.
Okay, so 10 damage.
Plus his bow, his arrow.
I hit him
Streaking
first.
in.
I hit him first.
I hit it first.
Nope, I did. Roll for it.
9 for me.
Roll
Okay.
for it.
Roll what?
D20.
Okay, D20. Here you
Just
go.
a D20. 15.
12.
Yes!
His hits first. You hear this blast, and then the thud of an arrow,
I just get a chuckle out of it.
Ha!
and a little squawk as he goes down. Okay, the rest of the goblins kind of like are looking around there, just like
A little confusing.
they're confused, but at the same time they're like, oh, "Holy crap! Like we don't want to deal with this," and so they open a path to the nearest
I'm gonna walk
exit
back and
for
gather
you.
the rest of the treasure.
All right, you grab
Yeah.
as much as you can
Might as
carry.
well.
Well, I got 2.
I don't do anything.
you get your little goblin buddy to scoop up some, and you scoop up, and you make off with more or less the whole thing, with the exception of some heavier, large pieces.
I'll get those.
Oh, now you'll take them.
Yeah, because they're large and heavy, and they might be beneficial to me.
And you make your way out of the camp. You ride back to the encampment, and you return the hairbrush to Captain Dawnhammer, I think I named him.
Yeah, Dawnhammer.
He's like, well, thank you for my brush, and he kind of rubs it against his scalp and grins. He's
Better
like,
grow back.
No, his hair.
With a magic brush.
Like a brush of Rogaine or something.
It's a brush of dwarven kind.
Yeah.
While he does that, his mustache grows longer.
Brush of Rogan.
grows longer, more
Yeah.
lustrous, and kind of twirls at the ends. And then he personally escorts you to the other side of the camp and has them open the gates for you. He says, "Well, thank you very much for your service." What?
We risked our lives for this brush. I think you should owe us a little bit.
Oh, very well. And he hands you a very peculiar looking coin.
Does it have a fat man on it?
It does, but it's
It's in his younger years.
made in a very satirical.
So making fun of him.
Yeah, I didn't like the fat dude. Kind of want to burn this place down.
Okay, look at him. Like,
He-
what's the word? What is it? Like praising it or?
Well, that's kind of a little joke us captains of the guard here have. We commissioned a small amount of this currency to be made, and we personally gamble with it here, just among the captains. Present that coin at the next time you pass through this location, and we will escort you through the gate without any further issue.
Okay. Well, thank you.
And you make your way off to your destination of Daggerford. All right. Real
What
quick,
are we
because I
doing with
think
Goblin
we've
Friend?
already pulled a lot of our listeners' time, but let's give a little rundown on what we thought of this product from a place to play .toys.
My first thoughts when we first opened it was I didn't think the size of the grid was going to work all that well.
Sorry, I didn't catch that. Try tapping a button.
Shut up, Siri.
Dude, what the freak?
He said, I didn't think it's
But in reality, I don't think it hinders play all that much.
Sorry, go ahead.
I think it worked because we were playing on a larger scale. Like, we were doing 10-foot spaces.
So then if you
But we
do
had a
that-
lot of space to cover.
Yeah.
And, and you had a big arena, a big space to fight in. I could see this really working out if you're, traveling through plains and hills and stuff, where, the battles could be spread out over hundreds of feet.
But dungeon crawls might get a little bit more.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
my interpretation of it, is that with the larger grids, most characters are made for a 1-inch grid layout. And so with these 2-inch, I think they're 2-inch tiles, they kind of makes playing on a smaller scale more difficult.
Well, you kind of just adjust your game too, but I like how they went together and you kind of create the
Yeah.
kind of cool shapes and
The
stack them.
customization.
And probably helped we read the instructions to kind of figure things out properly. But
we figured it
we
out.
figured it out pretty well.
I
It's
like
kind of cool. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. Where they go together, they interlock, and they stay tight,
Yeah.
Stack.
and they
I
stack
think
perfectly.
it
Hills,
worked.
I
it's
like
pretty
the
cool.
hill idea. I think that if you could just take a figure and like place it not on top of a hill, but like on the side of a hill.
Yeah, it changes. You have to
Some
kind of
parts of the
tweak
hill.
the shape of the hill to make that work. I
Maybe
think,
broader spaces between
yeah,
each
and I
set.
think the intention of the company was probably using a smaller scale, because I know they originally worked with like larger scale war games rather than Dungeons and Dragons, the more personalized miniatures.
But I think all in all, I would say that definitely if you like a hex grid as opposed to a square grid,
Get these.
and you like the ability to easily maneuver your terrain without without having to erase and redraw terrain. I think that these are definitely a good option, a good direction to go for terrain. It also, like, from my perspective here at the table, I'm probably a little farther away from it than you as players were, but at first glance, I can't see the lines on everything, and so it kind of has a more naturalistic, immersive feel to me than a laid out grid, and so it kind of allows you to visually represent things a little better without getting super technical about it.
Yeah. I don't know if I had to rate it on a scale of 1 to 5. I would probably go about a 3.5. Running the 1-inch grid or the standard size grid is more beneficial, I think, because when you have to half your movement for some reason or another, or you get to a point where you don't use all your movement, it's
Well,
nice
you can
to know.
accurately measure that on a 1-inch grid.
And the scale of the actual terrain pieces, the hills and things like that, should be a little bit larger for Dungeons and Dragons.
For Dungeons and Dragons, I think that coming from what they were producing as a company before, I think this is a good first step in that direction. But I think definitely to expand into more of a D&D area, different dimensions on the product would be majorly beneficial. But if you're not overly hung up on dimensions, because I know a lot of DMs and a lot of games aren't overly concerned with accurate dimensions, I think this is a very good product.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that.
It's easy to clean up, easy to set up. I think we set up this terrain in less than 5 minutes. So
It took about 10 minutes from the what we recorded earlier.
oh, okay.
So
Cool. All right.
All right. Well, thank you for listening, and we hope to continue hearing from you. We will see about when we're getting our next episode out. So thanks for listening, and we will catch you next time.